know that Lee began dialysis about 3 years ago at DeVita on Knoll Avenue. He went 3 times per week each week. That was a special place to Lee because of the loving care. But back to the 23rd Psalms, which was one of Lee's favorite passages. I don't believe we can fully grasp the importance of that psalm without first reading the psalm that comes just before it in Psalms 22. You're probably familiar with some of the words from that, since Jesus quotes from the cross as he is dying. And he feels that he has been abandoned by God. As David wrote down the words to the 22nd Psalm, he too feels abandoned by God. And David cries out for help, and he writes, my God, why have you forsaken me? And he continues, why are you so far from helping me? From the words of my groaning, oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but find no rest. Lee most certainly could have said those very words. 17 surgeries, breathing issues, over 3 years of dialysis. But Lee never complained. But David continues to write, working through his pain. Yet you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. In your ancestors, they trusted, and you delivered them. To you they cried and were saved. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. But I am a worm and not human. I can almost hear Lee saying those very same words. The reason he had such a positive outlook on life was because his faith in God was that strong. Lee understood that one day all his pain would be gone, and that one day he would be reunited with Millie, the love of his life. One day. As David continues writing, working things out in his heart of hearts, in the closing verses, he writes these words, for dominion belongs to the Lord, and he rules over the nation. To him indeed shall all who sleep in the earth bow down. Before him shall bow all who go down to the dust, and I shall live for him. Posterity will serve him. Future generations will be told about the Lord and proclaim his deliverance to a people yet unborn, saying that he has done it. Lee fully understood that God is in control, and that just as David learned, faith in God is the most important thing, and everything else will simply work itself out. Coming to the conclusion that David did, and having the faith that Lee had, allows me to read, the Lord is my shepherd. I lack for nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me to water in places of repose. He renews my life. He guides me in right paths, as benefits his name. Though I walk through a valley of deepest darkness, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You spread a table for me in full view of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My drink is abundant. Only goodness and steadfast love shall pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So now we come to the time when we say goodbye to Lee. But how do we say goodbye to someone who has been such an important part of so many people's lives for such a long time? And I would say to you that we don't have to say that goodbye. For the last little while, we've been talking about Lee, remembering Lee. Continue to talk about him. Keep those memories fresh in your hearts and in your minds. And he will continue to live in and through each one of you for a long, long time to come. May it be so. Amen.
Our Father, which art in in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
This concludes our service here this morning. On behalf of the family, I would like to invite you downstairs for lunch if you are so inclined to come and share a meal. One more little story real quick about Lee. I have to tell you how I learned his first name. I learned his first name the hard way. He called me, and I just happened to be on my way home, and he said, I'm in the hospital. You said that if I didn't call you, you would be mad at me. I'm calling to tell you I'm at the hospital at Overland Park. Right? Okay, fine. So I just turned down Covera, go to Overland Park, go in, spoke to the young man at the desk and said, I'm here to see Lee Lowrey. And he said, okay. And he looks up and he said, we don't have a Lee Lowrey here. Yes, you do. I just got off the phone with him. He told me he was here. And this guy says, are you sure that's his name? Yes. Could it be another name? I don't know. And he said, I don't have a Lee here. He said, I have another Lowrey here, but that is not his first name. And I said, do you have two Lowrys here? I can't tell you that. What do you mean you can't tell me that? Oh, HIPAA regulations, those stupid little government things get in the way, right? And so I just said, if there's only one Lowrey here, and his middle initial might be the letter L, don't you think that could be him? I don't know. I love cell phones. I just whip out my cell phone, call Lee, and I said, Lee, there's a guy down here that says you're not here. And Lee tells me what room he's in, and I said, bye. And he said, no, I don't need anything else from you. Thank you very much. So I get upstairs. Lee, what in the world is your first name? Alfred. Okay, now I know. So that was how I found out about Lee's first name. And almost until the day Lee died, we always got a chuckle out of that. Every time he would call and say, I'm in the hospital, don't forget my first name now. Okay, fine. So with that said, let's close in prayer, and then we will dismiss and go downstairs. Gracious God, we do thank you for this time that you have given us to celebrate the life of Lee Lowrey. Just like Jesus gave us an example to follow, so did Lee. Help us to always have that positive outlook that Lee had, always looking on the bright side, always willing to share our faith with other people. For that, we are thankful. Watch over us as we part now and go our separate ways. Keep us safe. And all God's people said,